Well, hello. Decided to come out from behind the camera and expand whatever I'm doing, which I'm not really sure what I'm doing other than just trying out this YouTube crazy stuff. But I built I would say, a pretty big hobby career. I don't know what you would call it. 26 years plus doing conventions, organizing games, and just experiencing gaming in the gaming community for a very long time. In addition to all the conventions I've done, I also have written dozens, maybe even hundreds of reviews for various websites, including GamingReport.com, which is no longer existing. I wrote for Scry Magazine. I wrote for Drive-Thru RPG, and I wrote for my own incarnation through Just Us Productions called The Gamer's Codex. I've recently reposted all my reviews on my own website, seawolfsden.net. So I've decided not only to just start doing crafting, I did some unboxing, and I'm getting a few Kickstarters here and there. Plus, I buy games here and there. So maybe I should start reviewing them. I'm going to start with Grimm. To be quite honest with you, I saw the Kickstarter, it came across my feed, and it was a dark science fiction, and I was all about it. I'm all about a dark science fiction setting. What I didn't know was how dark it was and what it was based on. I didn't know anything about. I'd heard of Morkborg. I had put it on a schedule here and there at conventions recently. It's obviously a recent game, and I know about SRD, the SRD craze, and if I were to play, I think I'd lean in that direction. But most of it's been fantasy, and I don't do fantasy. I'll play it every once in a while, but one thing this channel is probably not going to be about is fantasy games. I'm going to focus on what I like, and what I like is science fiction or kind of a science fantasy. I do science fantasy like Flash Gordon or something along those lines, but no fantasy. And so I saw that Morkborg was basically fantasy, and kind of just wrote it off. But this Vast Grimm is a science fiction take on Morkborg. If you look back here, there's Infinite Black. Creature curation on vastgrim.com is a character generation system that you can use and print out characters, and it's 100% compatible with Morkborg. Now, it is written in the style of Morkborg. It's kind of like my old gaming notebooks. It's like I'm going to slap things together, and if you look at it, it's just kind of slapped together. And now I don't have Morkborg, but going through some reviews online, I heard that it's kind of all over the place. And this is not that all over the place. It's kind of got a consistency, and they peeled back on it a little. Because, I mean, there's one section about the setting, one section that pretty much tells you about character creation, then monsters, and then there's this one-shot adventure. I'm all about the story. I don't care as much about the mechanics. Mechanics are real simple. GM never rolls. All the players roll d20s. You want to hit something, you roll a d20, add your stat. You want to avoid getting hit, roll d20, add your stat. And that's the approach it does. And I kind of like that. I've never played that kind of system. I'm more of a Savage Worlds guy. I've got several back here, but I've also done a lot of other stuff. D20, D6. There's Alien. I've done Alien. Doing this would be fun as a one-shot. I don't know if this is really even designed to do long-term campaigns as much as it is just one-shots. It just has that one-shot feel. That's my opinion. There may be more to it than I'm getting out of it, and I'm all okay with one-shots. A lot of the times that's all I have time for these days. There's no set of skills. There are skills in a sense that apply to each class, and you can upgrade those over time, but there's no skill list. It's just things you can do, and it's kind of like class powers and that kind of thing. It doesn't sound too hard. A character has agility, presence, strength, and toughness. Now, those 3 basically physical and 1 mental. Presence includes perceive, aim, charm, use tech, pilot, and use the supernatural system, which is necromancy. Agility is what you expect, strength is what you expect, and toughness is what you would expect. I mean, it's a resist poison, cold, heat, and survive falling. Armors takes away damage, and you basically roll 3d6, and you have a range of -3 to +3. Those are your stats, and then you get your skills, abilities. Okay, just to give you an idea of just how dark the game is for characters, there are several classes that you can play, and they have their own unique abilities. What I like about that is you can use these as templates and create your own class types. You've got the Man Sheen. He's a cute guy. And you have a range of abilities that you can either choose from or roll a d6 and get random. Light-handed, you stole a robot arm from a med bot and slapped it on yours that was missing. And now you're a healer. Bot eyes let you get dark sight. A ship for brains. Good one. That's basically become a database for ships. That would come to play a lot in this game because there's just a lot of ship travel. Taserface, Rusty Pincer, Cyber Kitty, the last one being a new companion. I was afraid where that was going, but hey! It's a cybernetic cat. Then there's the Soul Survivor. He's kind of just a human that's gone through a lot of crap. His ability, Energy Vampire, low expectations, inevitable escape, kind of a rogue. Then you've got your Techie, which is the Lost Technomaniac, stressing the maniac side. What I've noticed in some of these, based on the class, one of your stats or might get a bonus to the 3d6 when you're rolling. And then on the flip side, another one may get a penalty. For instance, for the Lost Technomaniac, you would imagine their presence would get a +2. Strength, they're more frail, you get a -2. So there's adjustments there too. The Technomaniac can have an arcane beginnings, which gets into the arcane side of this setting. Then there's the Twisted Biochemist, crazy scientist. And then you've got your Brick, a treacherous merc, not just a regular merc, a treacherous merc. An Emobot, androids. The Devout. Now, the Devout is connected to the Mausoleum of They, and that's kind of a religion that ties into the Grimm. Oh, and the Harvester. That's a scavenger, a means to roll up events for your background, etc. And then the powers is neuromancy. Now, I said necromancy earlier. This is actually called neuromancy. My mistake. Their abilities are called tributes, and you roll presence plus d4 to get your number of neuromancy points. Interestingly, it has a whole chapter on pharmaceuticals. Not to promote drug use, but I can imagine in a world like that, you're going to need something either to help you survive or help you forget. And then the tributes can be a wide variety of things. It's just 2 pages of different abilities. What the setting is, and that's like I said, I'm more about the story. It's dark. It's dark. Humanity is being wiped out across apparently, and it doesn't give you a whole lot of detail. It just gives you just enough to boost your imagination, and that's the kind of setting I like. I don't like such a detailed out. I detail out the rest of my mind. Imagine a massive human-based empire that's spread out to the stars, and all of a sudden something causes it to collapse. Well, this is called the Grimm, and it starts infecting people, and it mutates people, and it just infects you and makes you kind of this zombie to a single mind. So humanity is dying out. Now there's this gate out there that people are using to escape all this to another parallel universe or something along those lines. Not necessarily another galaxy, but like it implies that it's a parallel universe where the Grimm doesn't exist. You are a human in this horrible world just trying to get by. And these adventures are kind of anything just to allow you to survive and then risk your life and then maybe even risk getting infected with the Grimm. And you can. You just have to spend the rest of the game fighting it off. It's so simple to make characters. The flip side to that is it's easy to kill characters. It is deadly. And that's really what an SRD is. At the essence, it's everything's hard for the character to do. It's up to you and your wits to figure things out. I like it. I did not expect to like it once I saw it. I'm not a big fan of this willy-nilly kind of each page is a different layout, and I'm not a big fan of that because it didn't really seem organized, but once I got into it, you figured it out. It is pretty well organized enough for that setting and that system. No problem. It takes you a minute. There are a lot of table-based roles. I'm okay with that. I used to make tables endless with my games and when I was converting stuff and all that. But there's a lot of reference into the book, so I recommend like either the GM screen, which I think has a lot of the tables. I didn't buy that if you plan on running it, or getting the PDF and printing the pages out and making your own game master screen. Either way, and that would make that even feel more OSR, kind of like what we used to do when we were playing D&D First Edition and stuff. I recommend it. It's a interesting, fun game. I give it an 18 out of D20 for those that like the OSR feel, that like a game that is hard on the characters but very character centric, which means it makes them roll for everything. It gives you a lot of meaty background and a lot of stuff to sink your teeth into as a player, as a character. I highly recommend looking into this if you like, especially if you like Mork Borg and you're into more sci-fi stuff. Check it out. It's just a fun little game, and they've just started putting out more stuff for it. There's a free adventure on their site, as well as the character generation, which I mentioned. So outside of that, that's Grimm. Check it out, and always remember, seek the wolf in thyself.